Welcome to the Cynthia Nyamai Show. Now they say age ain't nothing but a number. And our guest fell in love with a man who is 30 years older than her, actually over 30 years older than her. And she quickly found out that yes, age ain't nothing but a number, but she has to live with negative comments, lack and acceptance. She's coming up shortly with that story. Thank you so much, Ciru, for joining us today. Finally, I get to meet you.
Yes.
I'm always sending you DMs on TikTok.
I know. I'm happy to be here. Aki, thank you for not giving up on me.
We had to tell your story.
Thank you.
I think one of the things I found interesting about you is, and I discovered you on TikTok once, your videos, you dancing and everything, and the spirit that you have. But then also later, I'm seeing a much older guy and you're talking about him and addressing comments from people. So I went back to your page. I'm like, okay, who is this guy? Why is she addressing comments? Then I find out his name is Greg and he's your husband. And the reason why there are comments is because there's an age gap of 30, around 30, 32 years.
Yeah.
Okay, 32 years.
Yeah.
So that's when I started stalking you and reading the clapbacks. So maybe if you could tell us a little bit, because it's not on your page, how did you get to meet Greg and how old were you then?
Okay, so I met Greg when I was 20.
Yes.
I was about to turn 20.
Yeah.
And that was so many years ago.
Yeah.
I met him on Facebook.
Yeah.
So we had a mutual friend and I requested him.
Yeah.
I was curious, you know, I was just like, okay, who is this guy?
Yeah.
You know, and we have a mutual friend.
Yeah.
The mutual friend was from school.
Yeah.
So when I added him, he accepted and then he wrote me a message. He's like, okay, do I know you from somewhere? Because you have added me.
Yeah.
Because usually, you know, I get friend requests from my friends or something. So I said, no, we haven't met before. So we started getting to know each other.
Yeah.
And
one thing led to another. So you just started chatting. So then you were 19 going to 20?
To 20. Now I had turned 20 by the time I was meeting him.
And him, how old was he then?
He was 52.
Yes.
So that's 32, 52.
So that now led into a discussion of maybe we should meet or so on, or how did it go after that?
Okay, so when we were chatting online, I was going through a breakup. So it was my first relationship. I was just not two teenagers. So he asked me, how you're doing? I said, actually, I'm not doing well because I'm going through a breakup. And he said, oh, okay, I'm really sorry about that. But we kept on talking. And then one day he was like, would you like to meet for coffee? And I said, why not? So I met him for coffee. So when I met him for coffee, I knew it was going to be coffee and that was going to be it. But we wanted to see each other more and we got interested with each other. And we got to be together shortly after.
That's interesting. So I'm wondering then, what is 20, finally when you met you were 20. What is a 20-year-old and a 52-year-old talking about? What did you find that you had in common?
Okay, so the conversation was just normal. Like you would talk to your age mate or someone who is younger. So it was just very normal. And we were talking about, he was telling me about his life, you know, about his kids, because he has other 3 children from his first marriage. He was telling me about, you know, his previous experiences. And I was telling him about my life, you know, what I was doing in school and plans like that. So it was a very normal conversation. And after we got to talk with each other, we came to know, you know, we have quite a few things, you know, in common, you know, like we're both talkative when we are, you know, in person, and we are also very interested in film and travel and different cultures. And he's interested in black women, I'm interested in white men, so
And did you like find it interesting after the first date, like, this guy is actually interesting, I didn't expect this, and looks like there's more to it than just conversation? Were you surprised?
Of course I was, because when I was going to meet him, I was bored, you know, I was waiting to join uni, so I'm just like, let me just go and pass time with this guy over coffee. But when I met him, I'm like, oh gosh, he's funny. I don't know if you can tell from
I can tell.
Yeah, so he's very funny. He's very smart. Like I call him a genius. And then on top of it, he's a very kind person, so, and then he doesn't actually, his brains and his age don't match. Like he's really young in mind and at heart. So it wasn't hard at all. I was surprised, yes, but you know, it flew naturally.
So did you tell your friends, oh, I met someone, I think there's something going on here?
Not the first day. I think after the second or third time, that's when I said, I told my BFF, I'm like, I met this guy, he's cool, blah, blah, blah. He's like, where is he from? I said, he's from the UK, but lives in Germany, blah, blah, blah. Okay, how old is he? He's 52 years old. She was like, so of course it's a shock, you know. And I never thought I would ever be interested in someone who's much older than me. Like, there's no way I thought, So, but anyway, she was like, whoa, cool. And that's how it went.
And your parents, did you?
No, I didn't tell them. I wasn't, going to tell them because at 20, they weren't expecting me to be in a relationship in the first place. Okay, they didn't even know about my first boyfriend. So there's no way I was going to tell him about a grown man that, I've met a grown man. So that happened after I was pregnant. Okay. And
how long after did you get pregnant?
It was like a year or so. So it wasn't long really. So, and then after that, I'm like, my parents, I told them when I was like 8 months pregnant. That's when they knew I was pregnant in the first place. Okay, I didn't tell nobody, not even my BFF actually. No, I didn't tell it. It was a shock for me. So when I finally told them that I was pregnant, and it wasn't, willingly, they discovered from my growing baby. So they were like,
and yours was twins, so it quickly was showing.
It was showing, but I was very slender, like really slender. So it didn't grow until I was 7 months.
Oh, really?
Yeah, pregnant. Imagine. So yes, there was a capote, and my brother would be like, okay, you're growing a capote now. Hey, I see. So I'm like, guys,
you're eating very well.
So this very slender, young lady, 20 something now, 20 now. So it's like, so I told them, the guy is from Germany, and he's 52 years old. So my mom was like, okay, he was 53 at the time. So my mom is like, oh, really? Yeah. So it's like, so hawangesema anything because kisha kulana, so maji yakishamwagika.
But did they feel like she's so young? Is my daughter being taken advantage of?
Definitely. Of course they felt that. I mean, every parent would, because you're just beginning now, your life, you're still a student. I mean, there's so much for you to experience. So for them, it wasn't like, oh, okay. They had that process of trying to, accept that it was a much older guy that had, gotten their daughter pregnant. But they went through it as fast as they could, and they accepted him.
So did marriage discussions start when you got pregnant?
No, not really. Actually, we fell apart because he was going back to Germany, where he was living at the time, and he wasn't showing any, let's say, commitment in wanting to come over to Kenya permanently because he had other young children in Germany, and his work was there. So his life was there, and there was no way I was going to go to him there. I mean, I didn't want to. Okay, so there was that tension between us. So we ended up falling apart, and actually during most part of the pregnancy, we weren't talking until when I just gave birth. That's when we talked again. Two boys.
And lovely boys.
Adele and Diani. And when I had them, actually when I was pregnant, due to like let's say denial and shock and everything, I never went to any prenatal visits. I so I was trying to hide as much. I was even thinking that I had something else. It wasn't pregnancy. I was refusing to accept it's pregnancy. But one thing I decided is like, I'm not going to have an abortion. I'm just going to keep this pregnancy, and whatever comes after this, let it come. I'm going to face things as they come. So when I went to give birth, when I'm just lying there, I have my first baby, so the doctor is like, you know what, you have another baby in your belly, so let's cut this.
That's when you found out?
That's when I found out. I was just like, what? Yeah. So we cut the umbilical cord, and I gave birth to the second child. At the same time, I'm like, you know, it was so surreal. I mean, I was like, what is going on? You know?
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you had even just probably shopped for one baby.
Of
In
course.
your head, you were planning for one baby.
For one baby, even mentally, okay? You know, when you're expecting twins or let's say multiple children,
yes.
like you go through it when you know that, you know, you're expecting multiple kids, you know, you have time to prepare. But for me, I didn't. It was just like, you know, umepata, and it's like, sasa uamke upate umepata watoto wawili. You know, so it's like, it wasn't, I can't say it was hard, I wouldn't lie, because I didn't know what it was like to have a single child. But it was like a surprise, like a huge surprise. Sidhani nishai surprise wa kuliko hivyo. Yeah, but I thank God he was so graceful through the pregnancy. I didn't have any complications. You know, even though I wasn't taking any vitamins, no checkups, no nothing. And the pregnancy, I mean, the birth was natural. So I really thank God. It was grace only. Yeah.
But now here you are, 21, twins, and Greg is away. So what did you do next?
So the next thing was what happened during that time, when actually my parents knew I was pregnant, I hepared from home.
Wow.
I was just like, mimi sikai hapa. So when I ran away, I didn't want to go to live with my sister who I was living with in Nairobi.
Yes.
Okay, so at the time, all this is happening in Nakuru, because that's where I'm from. So I'm like, okay, they will find me at my sister's. So I can't go, you know, to any family member's place. So I decided to go to like an orphanage. So nilienda kwa children's home. Hapo ndipo nilika. Yeah, and the lady was so gracious. Like, actually, she was so like, hey, I don't know. Her name is Faith. So she was so good to me, and she had never taken in a pregnant woman before. They only take young children, but they took me. And after that, 3-4 weeks later, I had my babies. So after I gave birth, let's go back to your question. Okay, what happened? My parents were like, you know, you need to come home. So I refused for a few months. Like 4 months, 5 months there, and then nikaenda home. So wakati nilienda home, you know, nikakuwa naka home. Greg still aiko Germany, hakuwa amerudi before kutoka nizae nini, so he was still in Germany.
Alikuwa anaitisha picha, kujua how the kids are doing and all that.
You know, first of all, nilikuwa nimemblock kila mahali. So after I gave birth though, I took pictures of the kids, I sent to him, I was like, you know, hivi watoto ndo wamekuja, actually ni wawili hata si moja, shock on you, like it was on me. So yeah, we have 2 children together now. So yeah, I was sending him pictures throughout sasa kutoka nipate watoto, but still I knew, you know, we were not in a relationship, so I wasn't so let's say into communication with him, and he wasn't as well.
I see him in your TikTok videos, so I know somehow there mulirudiana, things worked out. And I'll ask you about that, but we first need to take a break. We'll find out how the reunion happened in a short while. Welcome back to the Cynthia Nyamai Show. Now today we are talking about interracial marriages and relationships. So Ciru,
yes,
you have your babies, you've gone back home, you're blocking Greg. For how long did you block him?
No, it was on and off. Okay, so it would be like 3 months, then we are talking again, then
you have a tiff, you block him again.
Or he blocks me because I'm so, you know, nasty and so like crazy, you know.
What was causing the issues then?
Because he wasn't coming. That was the big problem for me.
You needed him. He had 2 children.
I wanted him to be here, you know, and I know it was a bit selfish for me to want him to be here permanently, because as I said before, he had other like responsibilities, yes, nyumbani. So, but still, I wanted him to make an effort, So, me nilikuwa naona as if, but, you know, he explained to me much later that things were not going so well. Financially, it was straining, and a lot of things were going on at the time, So, until the kids were 3 years old, that's when now, you know, he decided he was going to come. And
to move now to Kenya permanently.
No, it wasn't a move, but he was just coming to visit so that he can see the kids, see me, you know, rekindle our relationship, get to know us, the whole thing, meet my parents and all that,
So in between, were any of you seeing other people or?
Yeah, actually, I had met someone else.
Yes.
When my kids were like, I think 1.5, 2 years old, I had met somebody else.
Yeah.
And, but it wasn't like a very serious relationship because it was online. He was away and he visited me once. And after he left, I was just like, okay, this is not for me. As in,
is dating easy when you have kids, especially twins, boys, and they're still so young? Is it easy?
Of course it's not.
Yeah.
And because especially if you're a stay-at-home mom, you're with your children like 24/7. You don't have time to go. You don't have time to, kutembea kidogo. So the only way you can actually meet someone new is through online, online dating. So that was when I first started like online dating or something like that. So 2016, that was in 2017. No, 2016 we were talking the whole time. 2015, from 2015, mid 2015, we were talking a bit, when I was still seeing the other guy. And he knew I was, I had moved on from him, blah, blah, blah. And I think he had met somebody else at the time as well. But after some time, we decided, you know what, we wanted to try for a relationship again.
Yes.
So 2016, akakuja December, he met the kids for the first time, and it was very nice.
Let me talk to you a little bit about the stereotypes and some of the comments I see people giving you on Facebook and even TikTok. When you go out, like for example, maybe for dinner or a date, do you get those looks? Because in Kenya, a lot of times we assume when we see a white man and a black woman that it's a relationship more for money, especially if the man is older. What are some of the looks, stares, and experiences and comments you get when you're in public?
Okay, so one thing that we have accepted is that people will never stop staring. They will never stop looking at us like, what are you doing? Like, what is going on between you two? Because for them, it's like, it's a taboo. It's forbidden, it's nasty, it's, shouldn't be done by anyone, okay? And we understand that. So the looks we get, and then boda people...
And do you get used to, does one get used to it?
Actually you become very immune, such that when you see people staring,
you're even wondering
what
are you staring at?
Connie, what am I wearing today? And then you're like, it's because I'm with you. So you become so immune. It's like, it becomes so normal to you because it's your life. And so boda people are the ones who like shouting at us, sponsor, those things.
And like the clapbacks, why do you respond to people's messages on social media sometimes?
To comment, it's because it's fun for me and that's free content for me. One thing about TikTok, it likes when you reply to comments. So when you're replying to comments, somehow it pushes the video because it's an original content. And I'm like, okay, I mean, today I didn't even know what I was going to do. So let me just go through my comments. Let me reply to those comments. Let me, just engage with them the way they want me to engage with them. And I try so much to be so respectful, if you have noticed. I never go there abusing anyone or like, trying to demean them just because they don't agree with me. It's like, I respect you, with your opinion because you're entitled to it. So what I require is, okay, fine, express yourself, but try to be respectful when you're expressing these things, because not everybody can take the negative comments and the trolling the same way.
But what have you, from just reading, actually from reading our comments, I felt like our society, the Kenyan society, we can be really cruel. What have you been learning about us as a people by just the interaction that you're having on social media? Because the thing about social media is people freely give their comments because they are behind a laptop or a phone, so we can say things that we can't say face to face. So we see the real Kenyan in those comments. What do you think of, what have you learned about us as a society, and even especially when it comes to race?
So let me start by this. Most trolls that I receive are from women. Men will troll me. Kidogo kidogo wakati actually wataniambia ufai kuwa na huyo mzee. Kuja kwetu sisi young people, we'll know how to take care of you and all that. But the women are the ones who say the nastiest things. And I'm like, what makes us be so aggressive towards other women? We should be, actually unified. I don't say that you should agree with me. that everything I do is okay with you. Don't. Actually don't. But can you try to be respectful, as I said before, you know? And I've noticed that, I don't know, like, sometimes I think it's jealousy that causes, you know, when someone has something that you don't have, of course, there's that feeling that, you know, is instilled in you, and una feel unataka kui-release. So I'm like, okay, kuna watu nasty, yes, but there are so many who are so nice, and they're so kind and polite. Even when they don't agree, they'll tell you, like, honestly, kani mimi siwezi olewa na mzai, but ni sawa, kama ina work for you, it's fine, you know, and that's okay. So I can't really put, I generalize the Kenyan society in one category by saying that, you know, they can be, you know, crazy or kind, but wale watu ambao wanajifichua kwa social media, congratulations, because you show your own true color.
And what bothers people most, is it the age gap or is it the race?
It's the age gap. Okay. It's the age gap. Let me tell you, there are so many women, black women, who are very attracted to white men. You know, and they would love to have a relationship with a white man. You know, so when it is an interracial relationship, well, they'll be like, oh my goodness, I wish I had this in my life. I wish I had this. I wish I had this. You know, I would love to meet a white man. But the age is the one that makes them, you know, waruke vichwa. Wakwe like, no, this age gap, lakini imekuwa too much.
When you say some people would like to have a white man, what is it about having a white man? Is it the difference of culture, or do people just want a different experience? What is that about?
Well, I don't know for them, but personally for me, I am someone who is very attracted to white men. First of all, you know, it's like I find them attractive. Not, of course, kuna category kila mtu. There's what works for you. You know, there's white, there's Latino, there's Asian, there's all these things. But for me, it's white. So I'm like, you know, I would like to date someone else, maybe like a white man. I would like to dive into their culture, as you said. I would just like to experience this new thing, you know. And for me, it's like, you know, it works for me and it's good for me. I don't mean that, you know, African men are not enough for me, because I've dated an African man before and the relationship was good. Hata nilirukwa kichwa actually, tuliachana na huyo boy, you know. So it's good and it's loving, and they are amazing.
Now, what gives you that courage after all those comments to still post again and come out and talk and even share more photos? And so what gives you the courage to come back again and again and again?
Because I forget. Unajua, wacha nikwambie. So the first time it was shocking, because for me it wasn't such a big deal. When I posted a video and we were just dancing. It was just us having a good time.
I enjoy the dance videos of you and Greg.
Thank you. So you know, when I posted that, I was just posting me having fun. And so when people started talking, I'm just like, Kwani, what's wrong? And that's when I realized actually it's a big deal, and it was blown out of proportion. But for me, when I post that and they troll me, the next thing I will do, I just post another one, because that's, for me, that's my account. I have the liberty to do whatever I want to do, and I forget, like, nasahau kenye mlisema jana. But that's why, but sasa hizi imeingia baka nasema siku hizi nawaambia, can you bring in something fresh? At least make it more entertaining. You know, just don't say the boring usual thing. At huyo ni gukawa septic tank. Just say something new, you know?
To your children, as your two sons, as they are growing up, what are you going to teach them about relationships, acceptance, and race?
Okay, so for them now, you know, when they're here, people identify to them as Wazungu. Right? So, and for them, they don't feel like they are Wazungu. Although when they keep, you know, hearing it, you know, they notice that they are, you know, they're not the same, let's say, as our neighbors' kids and something like that. So, wako na karangi kidogo, kama hii yako hivi. You know,
they are lighter than we.
No, actually, it's just the same. It's the same, only that the hair is different. So for them, it's like they've seen us, like us as parents, the way we relate with each other. They see our race difference. You know, they see how we are with each other, and, you know, friends, you know, out there who are not of the same race. So for them, what we are trying to teach them, which is coming very naturally, not that we are, you know, intentionally instilling, is that, you know, acceptance is very important. We are all equal. We are all the same. You know, we are all human beings, and there shouldn't be any reason you should be seen as a different person.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
For those who want to find out more about you and even watch you online, just tell us a little bit about your pages.
Okay, so my Instagram page is Ciru Njuguna.
Yeah.
So it's CIRU_Njuguna with an H. Actually, it's all my pages. TikTok and YouTube is Ciru Njuguna.
Yes.
And they can find me there.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Asante.
Well, one lesson I learned today, we might have different opinions, but it's very important that even when we want to express those opinions, we express them with respect and also accept each other. Have a good evening. See you next week.